Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna Dinath Prabhu. Rahul Prabhu. Uh, let's give a minute for others to join. Hare Krishna Komal Prabhu. Tirmal Mataji. Okay, while others join, I'll offer prayer, then we can start.
Ji, Prabhuji.
Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kata Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalan Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parichana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan सह गणललित श्री विशाख अन्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नाम्ने नमस्ते सारस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरत्विषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So Hare Krishna, I welcome you all to our today's systematic study of Vedic scriptures. Every Sunday we go through um, some bites of spiritual understanding that can help us advance, have a clarity and also vision, and if we can even set a mission for our life through the teachings of Bhagavad Gita as part of the systematic study of Vedic scriptures. In Bhagavad Gita, we are in the chapter 10. Last week we discussed, last before week we discussed about the Chatushloki. Understanding these 4 verses, we can understand the whole Bhagavad Gita. So, text 8. So I'm just reading. We will not have, because already we had 2 full sessions only on this. We'll proceed further, but just to tune ourselves for this. Yeah, it is saying that I am the Krishna is saying that I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly knows this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So this is saying that the Lord is creator of not just this world, not other universes that we have not seen yet, or yeah, maybe through telescopic latest photos that says that there is also other universe existing. But the Lord is creator of everything, even the spiritual worlds. Mm. And then what is the purpose is the wise who are intelligent. What they do is know this, engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So that is the purpose of knowing that supremacy of a person. Yeah, because he is not an ordinary personality, because the Lord is uh, the source of the air we breathe, the source of water we drink, the source of the shelter we are taking, So in that way, the Lord is source of everything. Obviously, then we should be very grateful and extend our gratitude by the process of devotional service and worship with all our heart, not just not just stereotypic, not just theoretical, not just like a sentiment, but with all our heart. The thoughts of my few devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and converse, um, and conversing about me. So the best way of one engaging, the best and natural way, no, not an artificial way of um, going to a secluded place and try to control our senses with all our capacities and engage. No, here the Lord is saying the easiest natural way. We always prefer to be in natural position. Just imagine if someone is saying, hey, climb up the hill, that say, oh, it's too difficult because we have not done. Natural would be that someone will take us. Hmm. And what is that natural way? Here is that the Lord is saying that my devotees engage in doing Harikatha, conversing about me, my pastimes, my glories, my characters, paraphernalia, entourages, everything. And in that way, my devotees think in me. And then in that process, what are we doing is we are dedicating or devoting our life fully to the service of the Lord. And then what is happening? Is it a very um, difficult thing? No. Why? Because we experience great satisfaction in this process. Is it only theoretical? No. So many people have experienced that. This is what will be discussed today. And then the next verse, to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love. And then the statement is saying that, okay, what is the result? Because we sometimes are motivated by a result. If the result is good, then only we take up the work. Otherwise, we think, that's too much work for nothing. No, but what is happening is then the Lord is saying if one is constantly, even if we don't understand the complete Krishna consciousness philosophy, but if we engage in this activities of yeah, remember discussing about the Lord and engaging in service of the Lord, then he's saying, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. So we are personally helped by a perfect person, yeah, Purushottam, the Lord who can give us proper guidance. Yeah, we may be confused, and in our life, so many people have given so many ideas, opinions, recommendations, suggestions, so many. The best would be the Lord's. Uh, why? Because He knows everything, our past life, not just past life, about past lives, and also what can be our future, what will be our future. What should we be doing? What shouldn't we do? All these things, that knowledge, that understand. I give the understanding by which they can come to me. And finally, what is that? To show them special mercy. What is the mercy means? That though we are not qualified, in getting mm, mm, such a priceless gift. Hmm? Gift is something like we don't earn, right? It comes. Someone is giving. It's not that okay, we have worked so many hours and something is giving. It's only a kind of reward. But here we are talking about mercy. It's not a reward. It's not a reward for what we have done. It's not an award of appreciation. It is a mercy means there is no reason. There is no reason. He's saying to show them special mercy. I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. So, whatever in illusion we are living, we don't want to be in that illusion. We want to be elevated to purity, to knowledge. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. In that way, that Jyoti, the Lord is saying that I will destroy by what? He's not like, I mean, we know that Lord has come to protect Gajendra from very, very far distance. We know that Krishna has protected Draupadi also from not in the same place, but here Lord is saying, I dwelling in your heart, I will give you everything. That is special mercy. So the Lord is there. So there is he is ever alert to remove any kind of ignorance that any kind of ignorance that is born due to this mode of ignorance that is dwelling in our heart. After hearing this, we discuss next 8 verses if possible. Let me see. Nishant Prabhu, would you like to read this shloka? I'm seeing, okay, it's Rishabh Prabhu needs to be muted. Anyone?
Sure, Prabhuji.
Okay, then Nishant Prabhu, please read this. You prefer Hindi text or?
Yeah, Hindi would be better.
Okay,
Sorry, I could not unmute because I do not know why it was taking a little bit a long time.
that's a, yeah.
Yeah. Arjuna Uvacha Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Param Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divya Madi Deva Manjam Vibhum Ahostuva Mrishaya Sarve Deva Rishi Naradasthatha Asito Devalo Vyasa Sat Swayam Chaiva Pravishime.
Also this translation.
Yeah. Arjuna said, you are the supreme personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa confirm this truth about you. And now you yourself are declaring it to me. Purport. In these two verses, the Supreme Lord gives a chance to the Mayavadi philosopher, for here it is clear that the Supreme is different from the individual soul. Arjuna, after hearing the essential four verses of Bhagavad Gita in this chapter, became completely free from all doubts and accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He at once boldly declares, you are Param Brahma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And previously, Krishna stated that he is the originator of everything and everyone. Every demigod and every human being is dependent on him. Men and demigods, out of ignorance, think that they are absolute and independent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The ignorance is removed perfectly by the discharge of devotional service. This has already been explained in the previous verse by the Lord. Now, by His grace, Arjuna is accepting Him as the supreme truth. In concordance with the Vedic injunction, it is not because Krishna is Arjuna's intimate friend. Arjuna is flattering him by calling him the supreme personality of Godhead, the absolute truth. Whatever Arjuna says in these two verses is confirmed by Vedic truth. Vedic injunctions affirm that only one who takes to devotional service to the Supreme Lord can understand him, whereas others cannot. Each and every word of this verse spoken by Arjuna is confirmed by Vedic injunction.
Yeah. So maybe is Khushi Mataji there or your daughter would like to read this part?
Prabhuji, I'm alone today.
Uh-huh.
That,
Okay, fine.
yeah.
Yeah, then go on.
In the Kena Upanishad, it is stated that Supreme Brahman is the rest for everything. And Krishna has already explained that everything is resting on him. The Mundaka Upanishad confirms that the Supreme Lord, in whom everything is resting, can be realized only by those who engage constantly in thinking of him. This constant thinking of Krishna is smaranam. One of the methods of devotional service. It is only by devotional service to Krishna that one can understand his position and get rid of this material body. In the Vedas, the Supreme Lord is accepted as the purest of the pure. One who understands that Krishna is the purest of the pure can become purified from all sinful activities. One cannot be disinfected from sinful activities unless he surrenders unto the Supreme Lord. Arjuna's acceptance of Krishna as the supreme pure complies with the injunctions of Vedic literature. This is also confirmed by great personalities of whom Narada is the chief. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and one should always meditate upon him and enjoys one's transcendental relationship with him. He is the supreme existence. He is free from bodily needs, birth and death. Not only does Arjuna confirm this, but all the Vedic literatures, the Puranas and histories, in all Vedic literature, Krishna is thus described, and the Supreme Lord himself also says in the fourth chapter, although I am unborn, I appear on this earth to establish religious principles. He is the supreme origin. He has no cause, for he is the cause for all the causes, and everything is emanating from him. This perfect knowledge can be had by the grace of the Supreme Lord. Here, Arjuna expresses himself through the grace of Krishna. If we want to understand Bhagavad Gita, we should accept the statements in these two verses. This is called the parampara system, acceptance of the disciplic succession. Unless one is in the disciplic succession, he cannot understand Bhagavad Gita. It is not possible by so called academic education. Unfortunately, those proud of their academic education, despite so much evidence in Vedic literature, stick to their obstinate conviction that Krishna is an ordinary person.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So what we do is on Sundays, so we go through a few series of verses in this way, and then read the translation purport and have a short discussion whenever needed. And I think in this verse there is a lot, so let's spend a little time here. After hearing from Krishna about the Chatushloki that we revised once again, Arjuna is just saying Parabrahma, Parandhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan, Purusham, Shashvatam, Divyam, Adi Devam, Ajam Vibhum. Yeah, so here Arjuna is quite excited to share this, where he's saying, I have understood this absolute truth. And in this two verses, yeah, the first verse, what we were referring, is telling who is he. Yeah, Arjuna, after hearing, Arjuna is first of all saying that the individual soul. Yeah, here we see that you are Parabrahman. Yeah, all of us are Brahman. Yeah, that's why we know this Aham Brahmasmi. I am the spirit soul. But among that, yeah, Lord um, stands above in the form of that he is Parabrahma. Yeah, you are Parabrahma, the supreme personality of Godhead. And Krishna stated that he is the originator of everything and everyone. So, which means we cannot say that we all are same. Yeah, we cannot accept the understanding that we are also eventually uh, God. Yeah, sometimes we may hear this kind of philosophy that says that okay, it's only that we didn't know that we are God, that's why we are here. But once when we understand that we are God, huh, that is what is we come out of illusion or Maya. Yeah, that is not true. The individual identity of us has been there time immemorial, and it will be there afterwards also. And we are only infinitesimal, yeah, in the quantity sense. Of course, from a quality sense, we are same. Yeah, in quality sense, we have the propensity to enjoy. We have propensity to serve. Uh, we are of the same quality, which is Atma will never perish, Atma cannot be destroyed, and all those things. But still, quantitatively, we are very, very infinitesimal. Whereas the Lord is Vibhum. Yeah, that is what here it's mentioned. Yeah, Ajam Vibhum. Yeah, where is that? Yeah, Adi Devam. Yeah, and he is saying that he is the supreme Deva, Adi Devam. We see in the translation the original Lord, Vibhum, the greatest. Yeah. So in that way, Param, Supreme, Param Brahma, Supreme Truth, Param Dhama, Supreme Sustenance, Pavitram, pure, Paramam, Supreme Pure, yeah, Bhavan, you, um, then Shaswatam, yeah, you're eternal, Divyam, transcendental. So in that way, these are the qualities that Arjuna is saying, and this helps us to understand that ignorance is removed perfectly by the discharge of devotional service. This has already been explained in previous verse. Now, by his grace, Arjuna is accepting him as the supreme truth in coordinates with the Vedic injunction. And it is not that okay because now Arjuna, yeah, now Arjuna want to appreciate his friend. No, this is not appreciation, but this is a kind of glorification of the Supreme Lord. Then now there is no more the friendship relationship. Yeah, as soon as we have this verse, Karpanya doshapahat swabhava prachamitvam dharma sammoda cheta yashreyatam sham nishchitam bruhitanme shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. So now I am accepting you as my Lord or Master, and you accept me as your disciple. So already in the second chapter, yeah, already in the second chapter, Arjuna lost his composure in the first, and then he says, "Now, if someone can help me, it's only you." And at that stage, of course, Arjuna still, it's not that he's a transformed a devotee just in that moment. He anyway is a devotee, but he was serving the Lord in Sakyaras, in a friendly relationship. But here, the matter is so serious that he do not want to take in that position, and rather he want to take a instructor and a disciple relationship. And then from there on, the whole Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is speaking, and to this 10th chapter where we were talking about absolute of the opulences, and knowing little, which is unlimited opulences of the Lord. Arjuna is already saying, oh, yeah, yeah, you are a Parabrahma, indicates Arjuna accepts Krishna as the ultimate, yeah, as the supreme soul, yeah, or uh, the Lord can be realized in three levels, yeah, Brahmeti, Parameti, Bhagavaneti. Yeah, this is also what Arjuna understands, that you are the supreme, yeah, and this is what he is saying just after hearing the Chatushloki. And Arjuna accepting is not just flattering, but he is providing on the basis of Vedic injunctions that he heard from the sages. That's what he is referring to here in this the Ahuswam Rashaya Sarve. All the rishis are saying Devarshi Narada Tatha Asito Devala Vyasa Swayam Chaiva Bravisi me. So this is what is the truth. It's not that I am telling. I heard this, and from whom? Not ordinary persons. All great sages, led by Narada Muni, Asita, Devala, Vyasa, confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring. So three references. One is the basic literature, one is on support of the rishis, and third one is the Lord Himself has spoken. So on that basis, Arjuna is speaking. It's not that he is on a friendly or a relative relationship? No. Hmm? So this is what he's saying, on the strength of, and then yeah, we understand the mood of Arjuna here. It is the mood of Arjuna is very very sincere student. Yeah, Arjuna is still not thinking, okay, there is a relationship and obligation or respect for adults and nothing like that. Here he is saying accepting in the mood uh, uh, of parampara. Why? Because he's saying, hey, this was what is also approved on the basis of scriptures, on the basis of rishis, on the basis of Krishna. So, when we are hearing Bhagavad Gita, we should have a very clear understanding that are we going to hear Bhagavad Gita from anyone? What is the effect of it? Or are we going to hear Bhagavad Gita from the Lord? Yeah, of course, Arjuna was privileged to have the direct oral reception from Krishna. But what about us is that we can take to this parampara system where the spirit, whoever is maintaining the spirit of hearing Bhagavad Gita. hmm, So when we are in that disciplic succession of hearing, then we are able to appreciate Bhagavad Gita as it is for the best of our um, benefit. Yeah. So in that way, we see that Bhagavad Gita should be, yeah, Bhagavad Gita. Of course, so many versions of Bhagavad Gita exist. So many speakers are there, and some, and we don't know who is in what level of bhakti, and with what level of bhakti he has understood, and with what level of bhakti he is presenting. Because bhakti again can be in a purest form of anya bilashita sunya, where there is no jnana karma adi anavritam. There is no mixture of jnana. Because now I'm a Sanskrit expert, so let me decode one commentary, write a commentary on Bhagavad Gita, or karma anavritam. So thinking, hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Ji Prabhuji.
yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, okay. What was I saying? Huh? Right. So many commentators write, but what is the motive? What is the motivation behind that? Should be very clear. Is it based on the jnana because of acquiring knowledge of scholarship, or is it because of karma? Yeah, like okay, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying that hey, karm karo, do that, this, and is it only based on that? And so that we can have a uh, um, reaction free life that we can live forever? No. Yeah. There is no karma, vikarma, and akarma. Is that everything? No. One has to gradually understand why we are doing this so that we are eligible for next level. Is it dhyana to meditate so solidly that we are not disturbed? No. Is it only buddhi? Is it only buddhi? Buddhi yoga? Come on, intelligence is there. Let's use it. Yes. If it is that, what should it bring us to? It should bring us to bhakti. So this topmost level of understanding of Bhagavad Gita can be presented only by a pure devotee of the Lord. That is why it's very important from what source are we hearing. Hmm. And not possible to know Bhagavad Gita by academic scholars or without any disciplic succession. Why? Because how can we be blessed? Because hearing Bhagavad Gita is not just a matter of acquiring knowledge. Yeah. It is mainly to be able to be blessed by the words. The Gita, Bhagavad Gita is the song sung by the Lord. To be blessed with that, that is possible when there is uh, um, heard from the disciplic succession. There is also this mercy flowing that we get the understanding to follow. Otherwise, what happens is because of pride. Because of pride, one sticks to the conviction that Krishna is an ordinary person. Yeah. One day you may think Krishna is little great. I usually give the example of one of my colleagues said, tomorrow Narendra Modi ji can become Krishna because now he has done so many great things. After 100 years, now there will be books written about him, or there will be, and then people will start considering him as God. And in that way, Krishna was also maybe has done some great thing in the past. That's why people are talking about him. It's not like that. It's not that an ordinary person has become a Superman or a superhero. That's not the way how Krishna became the Lord. Why? Because Krishna has created everything and Krishna is the Lord. So different thoughts come, and in that way, it will be very difficult for a non-devotee to be appreciating Bhagavad Gita if it is heard from a devotee who is motivated or a non-devotee who is not even having any understanding. So we should be very careful from where we hear Bhagavad Gita. It's not any a kind of ordinary book or a novel. Yeah. So that makes it different. So this is first thing. Um, next verse is, who would like to read the next verse? Oh, anyone has a question here until now? Sorry. Any question from anyone?
Um, yes, Prabhuji, if allowed, I would like to ask something.
Yes, please.
Um, in the previous text, it was mentioned that if somebody reads or do it even without heart or without anything, so what Lord does that he helps him to reach to him easily. And now, in this last verse, in the point you explained that that it's not a simple thing. It's not an ordinary thing. So I was just contemplating that, like in this country where most of the people are unaware of this fact, and if you give them Gita just for reading, or if you share sometime this discussion, or you start this discussion, so is it not right? Or
Hmm. So are you asking, is it appropriate for us to discuss Bhagavad Gita to people who do not know about Bhagavad Gita? Is that the question?
yes, in the similar context, that if you give somebody Bhagavad Gita to read, or when you're doing the big book distribution, it is not an ordinary book, but we distribute to everybody like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, so that's very nice. Should we distribute the book because it's not an ordinary book? Yeah. But what is happening is this Bhagavad Gita book is offering the this wisdom or this knowledge and also the grace in different levels. Just like let's imagine ourselves on a gloomy day. Yeah, it's 10 o'clock on a gloomy day. We are not seeing the sun. We are not seeing the sun. That's our maybe when we are in a very primitive way, primitive way of understanding, we may see, okay, there is a, yeah, is there sun really? Sometimes I doubt. Yeah, yeah, it is very gray and thick clouds, and then but then slowly as the day progresses, when the clouds start moving away and when the sky gets clear, then we see there is a sun. Yeah. So what is happening is that this Bhagavad Gita, when it comes into a hand, first of all, yeah, we see that it's not an ordinary thing. If a person is taking Bhagavad Gita, then he is already fortunate. Why? Because he's getting that. And now when he opens the book, he's even more fortunate because he starts to read. And when he starts to read, definitely it will bring to a point of inquisitiveness and also absorption, and comes to the next point because of this knowledge which is telling what is the right way to acquire this wisdom is to approach a guide who is in this parampara. And in that way, this book, though they don't know, yeah, they don't know anything about the book for the first time. They even don't know the name. They don't even know what it contains. But when someone is speaking or giving the book, then in that way he is getting exposed to the transcendental, yeah, which is not material book like any other novels, transcendental literature. And this transcendental literature, a person is also attracted to take this book because he also, as we know that there is also Chaitya Guru, there is also this Paramatma who is inside everyone's heart. And this Paramatma is saying whether this person wants to know. Yes, if he wants to know, then there is also this arrangement such a way that he is also able to get this book, and then he is also able to hear to Bhagavad Gita from this people who are spreading the message of Krishna as it is. So in that way they get, yeah, and in that way the initial links will start or can start. There are other ways also, but in that way the Lord is seeing that, okay, then initially people may think, it's too intellectual for me. I thought this is just a book. Yeah, but then when they start reading, this is, opens the doors to so many dimensions of knowledge. Yeah, yoga, so many yogas. Can Is it really possible, practical, how to do it? Then there are centers, like temples or uh, devotees homes where this yoga is practiced, and they take it up, and from there, yeah, they are in constant or active connection with the divine arrangement. Yeah, so in that way we see that um, we are not talking about very confidential matter. Yeah, we're talking about those basics what one can absorb, understand. And I mean, I can tell about, I have given Bhagavad Gita to my yoga student. He's a German. When he took it, he is so absorbed that he read, I think, second chapter, third chapter, almost like he repeatedly read again and again, because he was seeing, there's too much. And then we discuss about it, yeah, and then he gets a better understanding, then he goes little forward. So this is what happens. Yeah, Nishant Prabhu, I don't know if I,
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, understood. You
yeah,
clarified. Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
okay, yeah, thank you. Anyone else have any question? Otherwise, someone else would like to read the next verse?
May I, Prabhuji?
Yes, Dinath Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. 10.14 Sarvametartamanye Yanmam Vadashi Keshava Nahite Bhagavan Vyaktim Vidur Devanadhanavaha. O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the demigods nor the demons, O Lord, can understand your personality. Purport. Arjuna herein confirms that persons of faithless and demonic nature cannot understand Krishna. He is not known even by the demigods. So, what to speak of the so called scholars of this modern world? By the grace of the Supreme Lord, Arjuna has understood that the supreme truth is Krishna and that he is the perfect one. One should therefore follow the path of Arjuna. He received the authority of Bhagavad Gita. As described in the fourth chapter, the parampara system of disciplic succession for the understanding of Bhagavad Gita was lost. And therefore, Krishna re-established that disciplic succession with Arjuna because he considered Arjuna his intimate friend and a great devotee. Therefore, as stated in our introduction to Gita Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita should be understood in the parampara system. When the parampara system was lost, Arjuna was selected to rejuvenate it. The acceptance by Arjuna of all that Krishna says should be emulated. Then we can understand the essence of Bhagavad Gita, and then only can we understand that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Dinath Prabhu. Yeah, so Krishna is saying, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. So this shows that one should have a complete conviction. But then the question is that, okay, when I don't have the knowledge, how can I have it? Yeah, and neither the demigods nor the demons. Lord is saying that, sorry, Arjuna is saying that to know you, it's not so possible even for the devatas and also the danavas. And here is saying that I can only understand only by your grace. Oh Lord, uh, can understand your personality. I totally accept it. So we see that who can accept this Bhagavad Gita is only a devotee. Only a devotee can appreciate this as it is. Otherwise, what happens is that there is in the purport mentioned that when we get exposed to Bhagavad Gita also, we may not appreciate everything, and we may not be engaging in the service of the Lord. So the importance of parampara system is once again mentioned here. Just for an analogical comparison, we know that Ayurveda is a science. Ayurveda is medicine, which is coming in a family tradition. Few families have practiced in previous generation and in previous generation and previous generation. They know the science, and this knowledge is given to the next generations. In that way, Ayurveda was offered to the mankind. Yeah. In this process, what is happening? They know exactly what are the medicines. They know what is the treatments and etc. So there is no doubt. Yeah, because they accept their parents out of respect, out of understanding that they know everything. So in that way, yeah. Similarly, we should appreciate or we should gain this knowledge not from people who can give an intellectual understanding of it. Wow, you know what Krishna is saying in Kurukshetra, Dharmakshetra, Kurukshetra. There is nothing like that. Uh, it is only like Arjuna is this, Bhima is that, Nakula is this. In that way, all these are only representations of something, some characters, but reality there is no character like that. So some people give their own, and then they start the whole Bhagavad Gita with that understanding. Now we know what kind of Bhagavad Gita that will be. Yeah? So neither Krishna said that. Uh, Krishna was had his wonderful pastimes in Bhauma Vrindavan, in Golok Mahavan, and also in Dwaraka. So it's not some imaginary thingy that was that happened, and Bhagavad Gita is in some fictional. No, it's not like that. That's why it's very important to understand this Bhagavad Gita in parampara system. Original disciplic succession was lost, and then Krishna is again using Arjuna as a means of reviving, because this is what Krishna Arjuna asked in the fourth chapter, and Krishna is saying this knowledge was first given to sun god Vaivasvan. Somehow, yeah, during the course of time, it's lost. So, and that's why when the knowledge was there, everything was fine. But when this knowledge is lost, then everything becomes like, okay, selfish interests and selfish motives, and we don't know. Just like when we have a washing machine, uh, if we know the guide how to use it, we can really know it. Or if you know what is it called, blueprint, and how to fix it, we can fix it. But when we don't have that, it will become too tedious. There is a lot of logical speculation that goes on. This diode or this transistor, no, what is it called? Anyway, all these things, when we don't know, we start experimenting, and then to create a working washing machine on our own is not so easy. Best thing is to have a guide, and based on that guide, one manufactures, hmm, or and uses it. So, and then that is one, and then emulates the spirit. The acceptance by Arjuna of all that Krishna says should be emulated, and then only can we understand. Hmm. The essence of Bhagavad Gita, yeah, should be. It's not like a blind faith, because okay, Krishna says that पहले start करो, बाद में मैं ज्ञान दूंगा. Huh? Yeah, it has to go hand in hand. Where because when we appreciate The reason behind it, our purity in service increases. When our purity in service increases, we are able to rightly, sincerely and seriously perform our services, which will in turn again attract more um, pleasure for the service of the Lord. In that way, this goes, and then we can understand Krishna further, because that it is, as I was just mentioning about the cloud. This cloud is so thick, and this cloud, when it has to get cleared up, uh, this is the process of, yeah, when we engage in service, then we understand more. Otherwise, we don't have no clue. Just from a theoretical understanding, if we start doing it, we won't understand. But when we apply this little what we are knowing, and then we do it, yes, now I can see my life. I i had always a different perspective of life. I was thinking I am this body, so whatever things I have to do, I have to do this for this body, and when the body is happy, I am happy. No, sometimes it's not working, but why? When we take to Bhagavad Gita, then we understand, no, our identity is totally different. We have identity crisis, and all this knowledge will be revealed. Then we apply, then we say, yes. So that is how it all goes. mm. And in this way, this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita uh, should be heard from parampara, and also should be emulated. Yeah. So in that way, it says, therefore, as stated, this all should be understood. Parampara, when parampara system is lost, Krishna has revived, applied it. And now, in this yuga, the question may come, okay, but that was 5,000 years back when Krishna has spoken Bhagavad Gita, but what about now? That's what. So it has still come, this Bhagavad Gita knowledge, and the disciplic succession is still there, and where Srila Prabhupada has made it absolutely available for all over the world, and in a way that we can read now. Right now, what we are doing is we are reading Bhagavad Gita. It's not so esoteric Sanskrit that only Sanskrit we need to know, then only we can understand. No, it's in simple English, and in that way we can appreciate the teachings of Bhagavad Gita and apply in our life. Any questions in this verse? No questions? Then, Rishabh Prabhu, would you like to read the next verse? If you're there. Otherwise, Venimada Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
1 second, Prabhuji. Fifteenth verse, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
स्वयं एवात्मा नात्मानं वेत्तत्वं पुरुषोत्तम भूतभावन भूतेश देवदेवा जगत्पते. Indeed, translation. Indeed, you alone know yourself by your own internal potency, O Supreme Person, origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, Lord of the universe. Purport. The Supreme Lord Krishna can be known by persons who are in a relationship with him through the discharge of devotional service, like Arjuna and his followers. Persons of demonic or atheistic mentality cannot know Krishna. Mental speculation that leads one away from the Supreme Lord is a serious sin, and one who does not know Krishna should not try to comment on Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is the statement of Krishna, and since it is the science of Krishna, it should be understood from Krishna as Arjuna understood it. It should not be received from atheistic persons. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, second chapter, 11th verse, Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yaj jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdyate. The supreme truth is realized in three aspects: as impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and at last as the supreme personality of Godhead. So, at the last stage of understanding the absolute truth, one comes to the supreme personality of Godhead. A common man or even a liberated man who has realized impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma may not understand God's personality. Such men, therefore, may endeavor to understand the Supreme Person from the verses of Bhagavad Gita, which are being spoken by this person. Krishna. Sometimes the impersonalists accept Krishna as Bhagavan or they accept his authority. Yet many liberated persons cannot understand Krishna as Purushottama, the supreme person. Therefore, Arjuna addresses him as Purushottama. Yet, one still may not understand that Krishna is the father of all living entities. Therefore, Arjuna addresses him as Bhuta Bhavana. And if one comes to know him as the father of all the living entities, still one may not know him as the supreme controller. Therefore, he is addressed here as Bhutesha, the supreme controller of everyone. And even if one knows Krishna as the supreme controller of all living entities, still one may not know that he is the origin of all the demigods. Therefore, he is addressed here in as Deva Deva, the worshipful god of all demigods. And even if one knows him as the worshipful god of all demigods, one may not know that he is the supreme proprietor of everything. Therefore, he is addressed as Jagatpati. Thus, the truth about Krishna is established in this verse by the realization of Arjuna, and we should follow in the footsteps of Arjuna to understand Krishna as he is.
Thank you. Very nice verse. So here we are saying that Bhuta Bhavana Bhuteshu Deva Deva Jagatpate. So here we uh, through um, the divine vision what Arjuna got, and also by hearing from Krishna directly, this is the conclusions that Arjuna is sharing. Yeah. So he's saying, you alone know yourself by your own internal potency. So this is something like a very important point, that who can really appreciate who the Supreme Lord is. It's not so easy. It's not easy that okay, one makes a book and then he starts observing, that this is the sky, and then this sky is Lord, this moon is Lord, this sun is Lord. Yes, then he looks like this. So he has so many hands, so many legs, uh, and that's his identity. Huh? Then no, he's beyond that. Not only that, yeah, this Virat Roop or Vishwaroop that has this, but Lord is not only that. This is only giving all how opulent he is and how everything is resting in him and how he is Deva Devam. That how all the administration is depending on the strength or the energy of the Supreme Lord. So this is what we see here, and that's why once again this repeats, like Arjuna and his followers, yeah, only can understand. Persons of demonic or atheistic mentality cannot know Krishna. Mental speculation is a big sin. Yeah, we think that no, come on, Lord has given us intelligence and Lord has given us the rational um, to exercise it, and if I don't use it, I'm a fool. Hmm? But we should understand what is the purpose of that is to appreciate the teachings of Bhagavad Gita or the Lord's message as it is. That is the reason the intelligence is given, not to use something and create our own understanding out of whatever little limited knowledge we have acquired through our eyes, what we have seen, through our ears, what we heard, through our experiences, what we see through others' experiences. uh, Pratyaksha Praman, Anuman Praman, and Shabda Praman. Again, in this Shabda Praman, we should really say that this Shabda Praman is authentic sound, which is Vedas. Only then we can really uh, know the true truth. Then there is no question of this mental speculation that leads one away from the Supreme Lord. And one who does not know Krishna should not try to comment on Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is not for everyone to take it and use in one's own way. Bhagavad Gita is a statement of Krishna, and since it is the science of Krishna, it should be understood from Krishna as Arjuna understood. So, if we want to understand Bhagavad Gita, we should take the position of Arjuna as a sincere student who accepted Krishna as the supreme teacher. And then it should not be received from atheistic persons. Yeah, why here we see in Srimad Bhagavad vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yad jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaneti shabdeti. Yeah, so this is saying that the Lord can be realized in different forms, in the impersonal Brahman, in the localized Paramatma form, and also in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Again, coming back to this example of the sunlight, yeah, there is this, though we cannot see the sun directly, but when we see an object in our house is illuminated, we know there is sunlight, sun rays. So in that way we see, and then there is the sun rays, which is there through which we are seeing everything, the effulgence, and then which is the Brahman realization. But later what we have is when the clouds are cleared up, we see that there is indeed a sun disk. Is a ball. Of course, we say it's a ball of gases and everything, but it's a, we see something, as a sun, and that is the next level of realization. So which means it is not that he is all pervading all, just like when sunlight is falling, it falls on all the objects, and that is everything. No, it is emanating from one central point. It's not just everything existing on its own. Every particle is independent, every sunrise is independent. No, it is emanating from the sun disk. That is next level. And then even further level is that everything is personal. There is a person behind everything. If a railway station is there, it is built by people. If a train is going, it is directed or driven by person. Maybe inside there is a person, or from outside it is controlled. Definitely there is a person. We may think these days we have robots, but that robot is designed by a person. So if we see that everything, behind everything, there is definitely a person. It cannot be a thing can create a thing. A person has to be there behind a creation. So in that way, that supreme person is Bhagavan, Bhagavan realization. Now this is what is presented here. So one may have an understanding of at a Brahman level, one may have understanding at Paramatma level, but that is only incomplete understanding of the Supreme Lord. Of course, the Lord is having this three levels. So when one understands that he is a supreme person, Purushottama, then a person is coming to the right complete understanding of the Lord. Therefore, Arjuna addresses him as Purushottama. Yet one may still not understand that Krishna is the father of all living entities. This is also possible. That therefore Arjuna is saying you are Bhuta Bhavana. Yeah, and in that way you know the feelings of every person. Yeah, just like a father knows what the child wants, what is good for the child. Similarly, na Bhuta Bhavana. He knows everything, everything. Why? Because he's literally present inside our heart. And then there is, and if one comes to know him as the father of all living, still one may not know him as a supreme controller. Okay, what is the use of knowing what is in my heart? What is the use that you know everything in my heart if you can't do anything? No, he is Bhuta Eshu. Isha means controller, Ishwar. Yeah, Bhuteshu. He's the controller of all, everyone. So which means he can also control um, our desires, what we need, what is good for us, and he can serve that. Therefore, he is addressed as Bhuteshu. And even if one knows Krishna, the supreme controller of all living entities, huh, still one may not know that he is the origin. Hmm? And even if one knows Krishna as the supreme controller of all living entities, still one may not know that he is the origin of all demigods. There's always this question. Uh, Unlike other religions where there's only one God, supreme God, Hinduism, yeah, 3 crore gods. Yeah, yes, that's how the administration is set up. But still, there is this monotheistic understanding where there is one supreme Deva Devam, and here it's mentioned that it is Krishna. Therefore, Arjuna is addressing as Deva Deva, the worshipful God of all demigods. Why? Because here it says that even the demigods cannot understand you. Why? Because you can know about yourself. And even if one knows him as the worshipable God of all demigods, one may not know that he is the supreme proprietor of everything. Means everything emanated from him. Uh, so that's why here he is addressed as Jagatpati. Uh, Thus, the truth about Krishna is established in this verse by realization of Arjuna, and we should follow in the footsteps of Arjuna to understand Krishna as he is. Any questions here? Anyone? Anyone want to add anything? No? If not, then we'll read one verse and then close. Who would like to read this?
Yeah, Prabhuji.
Yeah, okay.
Vaktum arhasya aseshena divya hai atma vibhutaya yabhir vibhuti bhir lokan imastvam vyapya titishtasi.
Tishtasi.
Tishtasi. Please tell me in detail of your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. In this verse, it appears that Arjuna is already satisfied with his understanding of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. By Krishna's grace, Arjuna has personal experience, intelligence, and knowledge in whatever else a person may have. And through all these agencies, he has understood Krishna to be Supreme Personality of Godhead. For him, there is no doubt, yet he is asking Krishna to explain his all pervading nature. People in general and the impersonalist in particular concern themselves mainly with the all pervading nature of the Supreme. So Arjuna is asking Krishna how he exists in his all pervading aspects through his different energies. One should know that this is being asked by Arjuna on behalf of the common people. Hare Krishna, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. The question may come like, okay, when Krishna is declaring, so Arjuna is declaring that, hey, you are Deva Devam, Jagatpatim, and everything. This is the topmost conclusion, and then the Bhagavad Gita should have stopped at 10th chapter, right? 10th chapter 15 is the last sloka. This is the conclusion. But there are still 8 more chapters to go, and which means there is still something happened, something was discussed. Why? And here we see this that Arjuna is asking him further. If Arjuna still is asking, then how could he come to that conclusion in the previous verses from the Chatushloki and previous verses? Is he understands everything. For him, he is having pakka. He understood it. But because being a devotee who is always compassionate, mm, so that everything is uh, collected for the next generations where people have less faith, People are already still going on in their own world of atheistic ideologies and scholarly manipulations and all those things. So Krishna wants to establish, um, though he's already satisfied, mm, he is still asking on behalf of common people. Not everyone is at a stage of Arjuna. So out of compassion, he's asking, can you please tell me more? That is one reason. Because people in general and especially impersonalists in particular are concerned uh, themselves mainly with all pervading nature of the Supreme Lord. They want to know, oh, how this whole thing is working, how this universe is there, these elements, gross elements, subtle elements. So some people still, because when they think this is first, let me understand these things, then बाद में देखेंगे भगवान को और भगवान है या नहीं है, किस तरह है, what is his स्वरूप. So Arjuna is asking this question for us, and of course when we hear from, so Arjuna is privileged that he is hearing from Krishna, the Supreme Lord, then his absorption increases more and more to know more and more about him. So this questioning, this is happening because that not only that he understood, he want to make it available for everyone, as Krishna said that this knowledge was there, but this knowledge is lost on the way. So let it come up completely. It shouldn't be that, okay, at this part, okay, is there something more? Yeah, there is still a lot that Krishna can tell, give more details. Even for people who is atheistic, even for them, there is a lot to offer. That is the where we read about what are different kinds of material natures, what are different kinds of faith, and all those things are also spoken later. Okay, thank you very much. Are there any questions in this? No? Then, thank you very much for joining, and see you us next week. Of course, if there are any questions during the week, you can drop me a note, and we can have one-to-one as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Vanchakilpascha kripasindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yes, Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Krishna.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.